In the bustling world of professional sports and celebrity romance, few pairings have captured the public's imagination quite like that of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. The pop superstar and the Kansas City Chiefs tight end have not only dominated headlines with their whirlwind romance but have also inadvertently sparked a cultural phenomenon that extends far beyond the football field or the concert stage. At the heart of this story is Jason Kelce, Travis's older brother and a retired NFL center whose own career was marked by grit, leadership, and an unyielding passion for the game. Jason, now 38 and stepping into a new chapter as a podcast host and commentator, has become an unexpected yet eloquent voice in celebrating the couple's impact. On a crisp November evening, during the latest episode of the New Heights podcast he co-hosts with Travis, Jason opened up about what he sees as the truly awesome thing about their relationship, a bridge built between generations and genders through the simple act of shared enthusiasm for sports. The episode in question, aired on that Monday, November 24th, featured two powerhouse guests, Erin Andrews and Carissa Thompson, both seasoned sports journalists whose careers have intertwined with the highs and lows of American athletics. Andrews, with her poised sideline reporting for Fox Sports, and Thompson, the sharp-witted host known for her work on Amazon Prime's Thursday Night Football, brought a wealth of experience to the table. The conversation flowed naturally from on-field strategies to off-field dynamics, but it was the recurring mentions of Taylor Swift that injected a fresh, vibrant energy into the discussion. What started as casual reflections on the NFL's evolving landscape quickly deepened into a heartfelt exploration of how one high-profile romance has reshaped family bonds and fan demographics in ways no one could have predicted. Jason Kelce, ever the philosopher at heart despite his hulking frame and storied Super Bowl pedigree, leaned into the microphone with a sincerity that cut through the podcast's usual banter. "You just mentioned Taylor and how much she's gotten girls into the sport and dads and daughters together," he began, his voice carrying the weight of genuine admiration. It was a nod to Andrew's earlier point about Swift's meteoric rise as an NFL ambassador, but Jason took it further, painting a vivid picture of real-world ripple effects. He described the flood of stories he'd heard from fans, ordinary people whose lives had been touched in profound, everyday ways. That's one of the coolest things I get when people talk about Taylor and Travis, and hearing from dads or hearing from daughters about that, he continued, his words tumbling out with a mix of excitement and humility. Imagine for a moment, a father and his young daughter huddled on the couch during a Sunday afternoon game. Before Swift entered the picture, that scene might have been a solo ritual for dad, flipping channels in search of the next play. But now, with Taylor's Eras Tour anthems echoing in pop culture and her appearances at Chiefs games splashed across social media, that same daughter is glued to the screen, cheering for Travis's touchdowns not just because of the spectacle, but because her idol is woven into the narrative. Jason called it an awesome thing, a phrase that encapsulates the quiet magic of connection. It's not about the glamour of red carpets or private jets. It's about the intangible spark that turns passive viewers into active participants, fostering conversations that might otherwise never happen. Carissa Thompson, at 43, amplified this sentiment with her own evocative storytelling. As a woman who's navigated the male-dominated world of sports broadcasting for over 2 decades, Thompson's perspective carried an extra layer of authenticity. "Those little girls that maybe didn't have an interest in football and then sit down because it's her," she said, her tone laced with wonder. She elaborated on the subtle shifts, the commercials featuring Swift's beaming smile, the quick-cut videos of her navigating stadium suites with effortless charm. These glimpses, Thompson argued, create entry points that feel welcoming rather than intimidating. Like the commercials and the different little videos that you see that now all of a sudden the dads have a bond with their daughter over her, is so special, she noted, her words evoking images of high fives over nachos and explanations of downs and yards delivered with newfound patience. This isn't mere hyperbole, data from the NFL itself backs the anecdotal evidence. Viewership among young female audiences has surged since Swift and Kelce went public in the summer of 2023, with reports indicating double-digit increases in female engagement across broadcasts. But Jason and his guests weren't reciting statistics. They were sharing stories that humanized the numbers. Jason recounted fan interactions at tailgates and post-game events, where wide-eyed girls clutched foam fingers emblazoned with Swift's lyrics adapted to team chants. One tale in particular stuck with him. A Philadelphia dad, inspired by Jason's own city roots, who messaged him about his 8-year-old daughter's first fantasy football pick, Travis Kelce, of course. "It's like she's not just watching, she's invested," Jason mused, the podcast studio filling with laughter that underscored the joy in it all. Delving deeper, the discussion touched on the broader cultural implications. Travis Kelce, with his larger-than-life personality and podcast charisma, has always been a bridge builder in his own right. From hosting Saturday Night Live to mentoring young players, he's embodied the NFL's push toward inclusivity. But pairing him with Swift, a global icon whose fanbase spans tweens to grandmas, has amplified that mission exponentially. Jason reflected on how this synergy challenges outdated notions of sports fandom as a boys' club. "Football's always been about community," he said, "but this is community on steroids." Thompson chimed in with her experiences from the booth, recalling broadcasts where female viewers' questions flooded social channels, ranging from player stats to Swift's setlist predictions during halftime shows.